Sir, good morning, sir. Prashant Sahu, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am. You're audible and you're visible, clear, everything.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, sir. Welcome to the 1-week faculty development program on application of emerging technologies in business, which is organized by JNTUA School of Management Studies. It's a pleasure for us to have you here today, sir. We know you are well experienced in blockchain. I request our faculty member, Dr. Zakir Hussain Garu, to present the brief biodata of Prashant Sahu Garu to the participants.
Yeah. Very good morning to one and all. I am Dr. Zakir Hussain, Assistant Professor, School of Management Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Anantapuram. I am really very happy to introduce the resource person of today's session, Mr. Prashant Sahu, working with Tata Consulting Service Limited for over 3.5 years as a development and operations, cloud engineer and scrum master. He is thought leader and practitioner in blockchain development and operations, cloud and scrum. He is passionate about driving digital technology initiatives such as blockchain, cloud development and operations, enterprise architecture, and Agile. He also handled the Agile methodology, cloud and blockchain technology community initiatives within TCS through coaching, mentoring, and grooming techniques. Mr. Prashant is a thought leader as adjacent professor, a technical speaker, a technical reviewer for apps, Swing Nature Company, and a full-time practitioner in blockchain, cloud, and scrum working for a Tata Consulting Service. He has implemented solution architectures with automating and option workloads on the cloud service providers like Microsoft, Azure, and Google Clouds, and also lead the cross-functional teams to achieve the goals using the Agile methodologies. Mr. Prashant is a certified Microsoft expert from TCS and blockchain expert from Blockchain Council and serving as a member of the board in Blockchain Council. He was selected as a speaker to the China International Industry Big Data Expo 2018 by the Chinese government and also to the International Blockchain Council by the government of Telangana and Goa. He also received accolades for his presentation in China International Industry Big Data Expo 2018 by the Chinese government. He is working group member in a Blockchain Council, Cryptocurrency Certification Consortium, Scrum Alliance, Scrum Organization, and International Institute of Business Analysis. Coming to awards and certification, he awarded as a Star Performer of the Year in the TCS consequently for 2 years, awarded as an Anchor Interface Program AIP in TCS consequently for 2 years, awarded for implementing Agile Scrum methodology throughout the organization, certified architect from Pivotal Cloud Foundry, certified blockchain expert from the Blockchain Council, certified blockchain expert V2 from the Blockchain Council, certified Scrum Master from the Scrum Alliance, certified IBM Blockchain Foundation for Developers and Blockchain Essential from IBM. Coming to credentials, Mr. Prashant Sahu delivered presentation on how big blockchain can implement Indian industries at China International Industry Big Data Expo, attended by the 200 dignitaries. Then International Blockchain Council, Prashant Sahu participated as a panel speaker for how much revenue do the companies expect to make in blockchain, where there are 300 delegates were attended, and he played a vital role in deploying application from the on-premises to cloud, visited various colleges and conducted workshops for the students and FDP sessions for faculty in the area of technology, management and personality development. He has been academic advisor for quite a few engineering colleges and helped them in streamlining their academic curriculum. He is also serving as a member of board for a Blockchain Council member of International Institute of Business Analysis Hyderabad chapter, member of Scrum Alliance and Scrum Organization, where and also he published various articles by the Hindu and Indian Express, and also he authored various blogs in Blockchain Council and LinkedIn. Then coming to the conferences, he selected as a speaker in China International Industry Big Data Expo by the Chinese government, selected as a speaker in the International Blockchain Council by the government of Telangana, selected as a speaker in the International Blockchain Council by the government of Goa. Coming to his excellence, Microsoft Azure, Private Cloud Foundry, GCP, Blockchain, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Development and Operation, Business Analysis, Micro Service Architecture. Coming to his approaches, he is focus and approach to comprehend, serve, and build the following things: visit the changing trends and propagate the technology changes, alignment of initiatives with the business vision, and spread the working group culture within the industry, and bring the higher participation with local geographic initiatives toward the digitalization. I'm very happy to have you as a resource person for the today's session, Mr. Prashant Rao, sir. We welcome you wholeheartedly to this session. Thank you. Over to you, Varalakshmi madam.
Thank you, Jackie sir, for your wonderful words about the Prashant Sahu sir and today's resource person. Sir, I welcome you and I request you to start the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Zaki sir. Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am, for getting me onboarded onto this FDP program for the next 3 days. Thank you so much, Varalakshmi ma'am, for finding out me and putting me up over here. Okay, so good morning to all the participants who are actively been participating in the workshop of this management level faculty development program in the blockchain technology. So very good morning to each and everyone. So I hope all of you are getting to learn various technologies like big data, IoT, AI, blockchain technology. So it's really good to know that JNTUA Anantapur has taken a very good initiative in terms of making the management people to learn about various types of technologies and getting an understanding like what it is all about, because we know that the 4th industrial revolution is going on right now. So it is all about technologies. Okay, so it's all about digitalization indeed, if I would say. It's all about your good technologies like AI, blockchain, IoT, quantum computing. So this is the future. I am very happy if I would say that all of you are getting a chance to get to know what are the technologies. So today, as I've been here, I will be taking care of the blockchain technology, and I make sure that the participants who are participating here, all of you would be getting a rich knowledge on the blockchain technology, and you will really feel that yes, you all have learned something and you all can start executing these principles going forward. So I have 3 sessions at the same time scheduled. It's today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. It's the same time. So I'll be covering 3 broad topics, guys. One would be today, it's all about what is blockchain, the properties of it. It's a basics one, if I would say. Tomorrow, I'll be dealing with cryptocurrencies. And the 3rd day, I'll be discussing about the applications of the blockchain technology, so that it would be very clear for you to know all the 3 different domains in the blockchain technology. Okay, so let me just present my screen, and please do acknowledge that once if you could see my screen, so that I can just go ahead and start explaining. So I'll be just showing a whiteboard. So please do let me know, is this visible to everyone? If I just put a small line, let me know that if you could see this or not, so that I can go ahead. Anybody? Okay, Dr. Zaki says yes. Thank you, Dr. Zaki. So let me just go and try to explain like what it is. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the blockchain technology. Okay. So before I explain about this blockchain technology, many of you may think that is this technology really having that much potentiality? Maybe many of you, maybe you would have heard about it somewhere or the other. but you're not pretty sure about what is this technology. But the people who have heard, right? Maybe you would have heard from 2016, maybe some people would have heard in 2018, and some people may be knowing right now in this workshop also. There may be different types of people present in this FDP program, but again, altogether people doesn't know. But if you listen this technology, everywhere this technology is being heard. If you take any government entity, if you take any normal IT organizations, everybody is talking about this technology. First, what you need to understand is, before learning this technology, you should understand that whether is it a hype which people have created, or else is it really having that much potentiality. Now, I am not going to say you that is it a hype or is it really going to have potentiality. It is your responsibility. After my 3 days of session, you should understand it. And then you should think of yourself that whether this technology is a hype or is it really having the potentiality in the market. So please remember this point, that going forward, when I'm going to teach you, you should understand the various concepts and you should need to think about it. That is it really having the potentiality? If it is having, then start implementing it, start spreading your ideas related to this technology in your group or as well as to some of the people where they can get benefited with this technology. This is one thing. Now coming to second thing, many people, they know what is blockchain. Okay, they know, I mean to say they know in and out of the blockchain. But generally, when I ask a common question to everyone, where is this blockchain technology going to play a vital role? If I ask this question to anyone, right, the people who know about this technology also, their mind will go a little bit clueless, saying that, hey, what is this guy asking me? That where is this blockchain technology going to fit? But I didn't study about this. I was doing all about blockchain, in-depth research and everything. But the basic question, how did I miss? So you should not miss even a single bit related to this technology. You should start from the scratch. That is very, very basic. And then you need to enter into it. Because learning this technology properties, you can do it. If I explain one time also, you can just complete it off. But the actual reason behind coming this technology and where it is going to strike, these things are not being known to at least 90% of the people who know about this technology. Forget about the people who doesn't know, because anyhow they don't know. We don't expect anything from them. But the people who know, among them, 90% of the people, they don't know that where is this technology going to fit appropriately. So this is one of the important points which you need to understand. Now you may have gone through your AI, okay, or maybe your big data, whatever it may be, your IoT. So again, now these are also the good technologies in the market. Now, why these technologies are used? Do you think that in the market, we have only these technologies like cloud or maybe 4 or 5 technologies? Namely, if I would say 10 technologies, guys, not more than that. Do you think in the world we have only 10 technologies? No. If you're thinking, then that's a wrong thinking. There are at least 50 to 100 technologies present in the market. Then my question to all of you is that why are we considering only 10 technologies? These 10 technologies we are considering because it is making our life easier. Whatever technology I'm taking, I need to make sure that my life becomes easier with that. I don't want to take one complicated technology and then I go into it, which no one uses, which no one asks for. Then what is the point in doing that technology? So how is this technology's importance is being given? That is only on one parameter, that how people are reacting to this technology. Simple. If you want to design a product, how you're going to do? You're going to find out the pulse of the audience. It is not like you like it, so you are going to design it, right? It is something like whatever, as you all are management people, you know about it, right? When we design something, we put the audience as one of the prime factor. We put in the business model, who are the target people, whom we are targeting it. So in the same way, the technology is also planned in that way. You take AI, right? AI, what it does? Automation. It does all your tasks in a very automated way, very simple. Big data. It deals the large amounts of data like TB, okay, PB. So this much amount of data can easily be processed in the big data. IoT, making your lives easier by connecting the sensors. So wherever you go, you can just connect everything with the sensors and everything would be done. Cloud, the entire infrastructure is removed now. So the entire data center, they're providing it. See, these are the advantages which they're providing. That is the reason why people are learning about this. That's the reason why everyone is focusing on these technologies. In the same way, blockchain is also playing a very vital role. That is the reason why people are talking blockchain along with AI, big data, IoT, and cloud. But where is this blockchain playing a vital role? So if I would say it plays a very vital role in the data, guys. Now, the best example for you for this would be, let me say there are two companies, guys. Okay, one is Google. Okay, and the other end we have another company called as the Tesla. Okay, Tesla is also a car company. I hope many of you would have known. It is Elon Musk one. Okay, now Google, they came up with a they came up with one new car model. Okay, that is, if I would say, it is a driverless car. Okay, so they came up with a driverless car actually. Okay, now they also designed, and these guys also have designed it. So both of them, they have designed the driverless car. Okay, where it is a self-automated, it runs on its own. Okay, so now Google introduces in this car AI, okay, IoT, and maybe big data. Just an example. Okay, so Google uses all these three things. In the same way, even Tesla also uses the same technology. Okay, and it is really going good. But in the market, Google's sales value is high, whereas Tesla's sales value is low. But Tesla is not able to identify that. How come Google is also using the same technology and even we are also using same technology? But why is Google having a lot of share value in the market, or a lot of people, why they are buying their product? And as you know, when there is high sales, investors will be there only. So investors are also investing in Google only. So they are not investing it anywhere else. It's as simple as that, because the profit is high there. Altogether, on one fine morning, what happened is Google's sales went down. People got shocked at what exactly happened for the Google to take this move, or why the sales have gone down. So then they identified that they use AI, they used IoT, they used big data to design this car. Awesome, that is really great. But related to this car, the driverless car, there is some confidential information related to this. This information was not stored appropriately. So there was a third party who got access to this data, and this third party who got access to this data, he sold this data to its competitor Tesla. And Tesla has then got to know, okay, what exactly they have done, and Tesla's market went high, investors moved to Tesla because they are giving profit. So what is the conclusion from here is, you may use any technology in the world, any technology for making your life easier. There is no problem in that. Indeed, if you use latest technologies, you will really get some good investors in the market. That is absolutely right. But at the end of the day, if this is not there, what is this? Trust. If this is not there, whether it may be Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Tata, Infosys, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your business. If there is no trust with the data, whatever is related to that, people are investing on your company. And if you're really careless with your data, then the company will never come up. Even if there is no profit, still some clients will be there with you thinking that you're going to do some wonders in the upcoming quarters. But if you are not in a position to protect the data, then nobody is going to believe you. And if once the trust is lost, again, there wouldn't be any other investor to come and try to invest in your organization. So any technology you use, if you're not in a position to protect your confidential data, then that is totally hopeless. So this is where your blockchain comes into the vital role. So using blockchain technology, whatever data which is present, you're going to provide an additional layer of security to it. So now in this case, if any third party or if any hacker is going to come and try to attack your confidential data, he wouldn't be doing it. The reason is, first he needs to break the blockchain layer. Once he is successful in determining the blockchain layer, then he can enter into this confidential data. But blockchain is not going to allow you to enter into that confidential data. So if Google would have implemented the blockchain technology, still now the sales will be high and Google will be leading the market. But because of small mistake, which they have implemented in the car, all the technologies, all the money, but at the back end, whatever sensitive data or confidential data which is present, they didn't take care of it. by not implementing any latest technologies. That's where they lost the market. So this is the beauty, or this is the biggest advantage of using the blockchain technology, where we can protect our data. Data is an asset these days. In order to protect that asset, we require the technology, and that's what we call it as the blockchain technology, guys. Okay, so this is the important understanding which all of you need to understand. So this is where the technology plays a very vital role. So now, as you know, that blockchain is going to protect our data. So let us go forward and see what is present inside the blockchain. Like, what are its properties, why it is making so strong that nobody would actually try to come and attack the blockchain. Let us go and try to explore its architecture. Let us understand what is present inside it. And then you can clearly understand that what are the properties which are making blockchain to be very strong and resilient enough. Okay, so let me just go ahead and try to resolve your queries and everything. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, guys, please do put it in the chat box. Okay, I will definitely see at the last, and I'm going to answer it for you. So let me just try to go ahead with my presentation. Okay, so blockchain architecture. Okay, so now if you could see here, there is some data. Okay, over 22,000 Indian websites are being hacked between 2017 to Jan 2018, guys. This is as per the sources of IT Ministry. So now what is happening here is, okay, as per the sources of IT Ministry, the 22,000 Indian websites have already been hacked, it seems. So this is some statistics, or if I would say some stat. Okay, now this is an official count. You know, unofficial count, how much it would be. What is the reason, guys? I will say you some simple logic here. Try to understand, okay? So many people would have also observed this point, okay? Let me say I am exploring Amazon, okay? Now in the Amazon, I have seen some mobile phone, okay? Let me say some mobile, whatever it may be. So now it is done, but I didn't purchase it. I have just seen that whether if there are any offers or not. And then I again left the Amazon website. Now I started exploring my Facebook. Okay, now in my Facebook, I am just going through my homepage, like my feed. I'm just going to see everything. There, unfortunately or suddenly, I have seen my mobile, which I have seen in the Amazon. It say in the form of an ad. It is saying me that, do you want to purchase this mobile? I said, how come? I have seen the product in Amazon, which is an e-commerce website, and this is Facebook, which is social media website, two different domains. And Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos. Facebook is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. But how come I'm seeing something which is unusual? In Amazon, I've seen something, but whereas in the Facebook, I could see the same thing. So can you say me that why this is happening? And who is the main guy who is actually connecting this Amazon and Facebook? Anybody who is having an idea? So who is actually connecting this Amazon and Facebook, guys? Okay. Anybody, any idea, guys? Who is actually joining these two people? Because many of you would have observed this actually. If you clearly remember, so many of people you would have known. Anybody? Okay, let me see here. Okay, so here in this case, if you could see, okay, so this, who is joining between them is actually Google. Okay, Google actually makes Amazon and Facebook, they join between both of them, and Google is the main interpreter here who sells your data. That is the reason why Amazon and Facebook could actually try to see each and everything appropriately. Okay, so that's the reason why what is actually happening here in this case is whenever you go with Amazon and Facebook, right? So that's the reason why you could see the products which are present in Amazon in the Facebook. The reason for this is because Google is actually trying to sell the data between Amazon and Facebook. Now we need to stop this. In order to stop this, we require the blockchain technology to make sure that there is a privacy to your data. whatever data which is present, right, it will be private and it will be confidential and it will only be with you rather than with any other third party like Google, Amazon or Facebook. This is also one of the important initiative which blockchain can take it forward, and your data will only be with you rather than Facebook, Amazon and Google. So this is also one of the important point which all of you actually need to understand. Okay, so let me go with the next part. Here, if you could see, guys, it is one of the statements said by the Honorable Prime Minister of India in one of his meetings. He said that the disruptive technologies like blockchain and IoT, they will have a very great impact in the way we live and work. So they need to have a rapid adaptation in our workplaces. Okay, so what you need to understand from here is disruptive technologies which are present like a blockchain and IoT, right? So they will have a very great impact, it seems. So this is the statement said by the Honorable Prime Minister of India about this technology called as a blockchain. He is urging the people to make sure that this technology will have a very great impact. And I request as a Prime Minister of India to use this technology rapidly in all the workplaces. This is what is a statement said by the Honorable Prime Minister of India related to this blockchain technology. Now understand the importance of this technology when the country's most important persons are actually trying to acknowledge this technology and addressing the nation, saying that try to use this and try to get the benefit by using this technology. So understand the importance of this technology. So that's what I intend to say here, and I have brought this quote which was said by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. And then if you could see here, we have Don Tapscott. Actually, he is the head of the Blockchain Research Institute. And Don Tapscott has written a book, which we call it as the Blockchain Revolution. Okay, so this is a book actually, which we call it as the Blockchain Revolution. So in this Blockchain Revolution, he has written each and everything related to blockchain. And this book was written by Don Tapscott himself. And then along with that, he's head of the Blockchain Research Institute. Okay, so now he has actually quoted one important point when I went to China. So he's the Don Tapscott. I got him a chance. This is me. I got a chance to meet him. And he has actually quoted in the China meeting that what he is actually trying to say. He is saying that it's not your big data, it's not your robotics, or it's not even your AI. So you are going to be surprised to learn that it's the underlying technology of digital currency like Bitcoin, which is going to revolutionize the world. That is nothing but the blockchain. So Don Tapscott is trying to say that it's not your big data or AI or robotics which are trying to think is going to shape the future. It is the blockchain which is going to shape the future, which is going to rule the world. So this is something which we all require, and we need to go through this at this point of time. So this is what actually Don Tapscott is trying to say us in terms of quoting, saying that blockchain is going to have a great potentiality. If I keep on going and showing you various quotes said by famous people, the entire session would be taken in that manner, but I have just taken only some important quotes. Now, if you go to internet and if you surf, you will find n number of people talking about this technology and explaining about this technology, like how it is going to play a vital role in the organizations and in the real life. Okay, so there are many people who have quoted about it. You can just explore in the internet and you can try to find out like what others are trying to say. So these are some of the things which I have brought and which I have said to you, because these are all the very important persons. And that's the reason why I have quoted all these things, and I want to give you that confidence, saying that yes, you all are at the right place to learn this technology, and you all are learning the right technology at the right point of time. So this is what I intend to say till now. So now let me go ahead and try to explain you that what exactly is blockchain. Till now, what did we discuss? What is the importance of the blockchain? Where is the blockchain targeting? What people are trying to say? So all these things we covered. Now, it is my responsibility to go a little bit forward and try to explain you like what exactly is a blockchain right now. So now I want to give one small elaboration here. Many of you may think that blockchain is actually a new concept. Maybe it would have come in 2016, or some people may think 2020, 2019, some people. Okay. But the people who are thinking in this way, you all are all wrong actually. No, this is not a new concept, guys. The concept of blockchain was actually present from 1990 only. Okay, from 1990, this technology is present. As I said you, remember one thing, whenever the demand comes, then only we are going to use the technology. Even today, there are 100 technologies in the market, but still we use only 10. Rest of the 90, we never use it. But we never know when will the time come for those 90 technologies to shape up and revolutionize. Understand this point. In 1990, the technology was there, but nobody considered it. Nobody thought that this will play a vital role. It came into limelight in the year 2008 when Bitcoin was introduced. Then only people started exploring this technology. But the people or the person who has introduced the Bitcoin in the year 2008, right, he didn't do anything new, guys. What he did is he brought up his own coin. The mechanism, the concept behind it was taken from 1990 only. Okay, but he came up with his new coin, his new way of functioning it. Okay, the concept was already present. He didn't invent the concept. The concept was there. He took that concept and he created his own coin called as a Bitcoin, which I'm going to explain it very thoroughly in the tomorrow's session where we have dedicated session for the cryptocurrency. But what I intend to say here is blockchain is not a new concept. This concept was actually present from the year 1990 only. Then who wrote in the year 1990, who wrote this research paper, who explained to the world what exactly the concept which underlies behind the blockchain technology? It is the Stuart Haber and Scott Stornetta. These two are the people who has explained about the concept of the blockchain technology in the year 1990, guys. If you want to go through that research paper, this is the link at the bottom, which I have actually kept. If it is difficult for you to type this, then I will say that research paper is how to timestamp a digital document. Okay, how to timestamp a digital document. This is the first paper where the blockchain concept was actually explained in the year 1990, and it was written by Stuart Haber and Scott Stornetta. Okay, so I hope many of you may go and try to explore this because it is something very interesting and it is a very normal language they have used. It's not very, they didn't use any technical jargons and all these words to make you confused. It's very simple. You can go through it and you can easily identify it. Okay, now the people who go and explore this paper, right, again, don't send me a mail saying that, hey Prashant, I couldn't see anywhere the blockchain term. Then I will say, yes, you will not be seeing this blockchain term. This term was actually identified in the year 2015. Whatever term is present, right, that was identified. But the concept behind this technology was explained in how to timestamp a digital document. That is a research paper. You will not see this term called as the blockchain. So understand this point, what I'm trying to say. Okay, you will not see this term called as the blockchain, but you will only see what are the important properties related to the blockchain are actually present in this paper, but not the term called as blockchain. So don't look for this term. If you are looking for this term, you will waste your time because there is no term called as blockchain over there in the 1990 research paper. So this technology is not a new technology. It is the technology which was present from 1990, and in the year 2008, it came into limelight with the help of the Bitcoin. Okay, in detail, I'm going to explain this part tomorrow, but not today. Okay, so this concept, you need to understand it. Now, there is a definition for the blockchain actually. So if you study this definition, there is no point, okay, because you don't know what it is. So what I'm going to do is, let me explain you the structure of the blockchain, and then we shall come back and see the definition of it. Like what exactly is the blockchain? Because that makes you clearly understand rather than just studying the definition. Okay, so let me go forward and try to explain you what is the structure of the block. If you could see the structure of the block here, every block is arranged in a chronological pattern. Chronological pattern means it is in a sequence. See, number 1, 2, and then 3. It should be like 4, 5, like that, up to n numbers. Chronological sequence. Now, many people may think, okay, because when I've done various FDPs and workshops, right, many of them, they ask me one common question, sir, can I fit the third block over here? Then I would say no. Then what is the point in saying that it is a chronological and it is in sequential order? So you need to understand that you can't fit any blocks as you require. So it should be everything in a sequential pattern. So if it is 1, after that it has to be 2. It should not be like 3 or 4 or something you're going to fit between 1 and 2. It should not happen. In the same way, between 2 and 3, it should be 2 and 3 only. That's it. You can't bring any 5th or 6th block and say that it is fine. It can't be done in that way because all of the blocks are arranged in a chronological pattern, if I would say. Okay. So now, if you could see here in this case, what is going to happen is, generally, if you see these block numbers, guys, many people, even you take an undergraduate guy also, if he can see this, right, he will say that, yeah, these are the block numbers. But then generally, these are not block numbers. Technically, we don't call as block numbers. We call technically this as the block height. Okay. Technically, we call this as the block height, guys. These are all your block height. Okay, we don't call it as a block number simply, but it is the block height. Okay, now coming to data here, guys, there are 2 types of data available. In the blockchain, we put data, guys. As I said, right, why blocks are important? Why is this blockchain technology important? As I said in the first part, like when I was explaining, because in order to protect your data, now the data should be there inside your blockchain, right? Now, what type of data can we store inside the blockchain, which you need to understand? There are 2 types of data, guys. One is only transaction. Other one is transaction plus document. Now, there are 2 things present here, guys. If you see here, if you consider only transactions present in your blockchain, then this is called as your Bitcoin blockchain. If you consider only transactions in your blockchain, then I call this as the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, if you see here transaction plus document, then this is called as the Ethereum blockchain. Now, what am I trying to say here is, see, let me say, when somebody says you that I have kept some data inside my blockchain or my house document or student registration report or student mark sheet, then what type of blockchain is that? Bitcoin or Ethereum blockchain? It is Ethereum blockchain. The reason is because you are trying to put the documents. Documents are supported by Ethereum, but not by the Bitcoin. Now, let me say, if somebody says that I am dealing only with the transactions present inside the blockchain, then you should think that it is the Bitcoin blockchain which the other person is trying to say about you. So that there are 2 types of data, guys. One is your Bitcoin blockchain, and other one is your Ethereum blockchain. So there are 2 types of blockchain which are readily available, and it all depends on you to identify that what type of blockchain is actually that is. Okay. So one is your Bitcoin blockchain, and other one is your Ethereum blockchain. Okay. So Bitcoin means it is only transactions. Ethereum means it is transactions along with the documents. You can store it inside your blockchain. So these are 2 types of blockchains, Bitcoin as well as Ethereum blockchain, guys. Okay, so related to data, we have completed it. So what are the things what we have completed? One is your block height, and other one is your data, which are 2 types. One is only transaction, other one is your transaction plus document. Okay, now this is completed. Now, one question to every one of you. Okay, so to all the participants, if I say that how you are unique when compared to other persons. When I ask you this question, that can you say me that how you are unique when compared to other persons, then many people will be saying me, your Aadhaar card number is unique. Many people say me that my name is unique when compared to other names. Okay, my skill sets are unique when compared to other person's skill sets. Right? These are all actually, if I would say, these are actually not the right answers indeed. These are not the right answers, guys. The right answer for this is, okay, because why I'm not saying this as a right answer is because the point here is maybe your name can be matched with any other person. That is very common. Say, when I say I'm Prashant, there are many Prashants in the world, right? And at the same time, if I would say the skill sets, somewhere or the other, it will match with the other person. Aadhaar card number, yes, it can be replicated. And again, the same type of Aadhaar number, we can do it. Okay, the point is, genetically, we have to see. Like your iris scanner, your DNA, your fingerprints, these are something which makes you unique when compared to other persons. And this can't be easily taken by other person. So in this case, I am going to consider something called as the fingerprint. Okay, this fingerprint makes you unique when compared to other persons. Now this fingerprint is nothing but it is your unique identification for you. Every participant here, along with every participant, even me and anyone if you take, all of us are unique with our own fingerprints, guys. In the same way, every block has its own fingerprint, and that is generally what we call it as the hash. Hash, like how we have our fingerprint as a unique identification, in the same way, every block has its own unique identification, and that's generally what we call it as the hash. Hash is a unique identification for each and every block. Okay, so that is the importance of the hash. Now, what is present in the hash? What is the algorithm which it is using? Forget about it for the time being. I'm going to explain you that what is present inside it, but for the time being, don't consider anything technically. Make it very simple. Hash is nothing but it is like your fingerprint. How you have your fingerprint as a unique identification, in the same way, every hash has its own unique fingerprint, and that's what we generally call it as the hash in the every block. So every block has its identification called as hash. This is another concept. Now, why do we call this as the blockchain? First part, I hope every one of you know, because everything is in the form of a block pattern. So that's the reason the first part of the name is called as the block. Then why do we call it as a chain? What is the normal speciality of a chain, guys? Chain speciality is every link is interlinked. Normal chain, when you see any type of chain, it may be, every link is interlinked, right? So when you try to break that link, it is very difficult. But even then, if you are successful in breaking that link, you can able to identify that where the link has been broken, right? So that is the speciality of a chain. Here, the blockchain is also having the same speciality of the chain as a normal chain actually. That's the reason why the second part of the name actually came as the chain, and in together we call it as the blockchain. Now we will see what is the speciality of a chain inside the blockchain. Okay, let me show you that. Every block here is interlinked, guys. How it is interlinked? If you could observe here, second block has its own identification, which we call it as the hash. Now again, third block also has its own identification here, hash. But along with that, the third block is also going to have a previous hash. Previous hash means it is the second block's hash will be present here. See here, the second block's hash here is this one. Now this hash became the previous hash of the third block. Now if you go to your fourth block, guys, you know that every block has its identification, which we call it as the hash. This is fine. Along with this, you will also be having something called as the previous hash. Now from where do you get this previous hash? The third block's hash, which is present, right? It will become the previous hash of the fourth block. That's it. So in this way, all the blocks which are present here will be arranged in a chronological pattern, and it will keep on be moving like this. If you see the first block here, this also has its own hash. Now this hash which is present here, it became the previous hash of the second block. So what you understood from here is every block is interlinked in the backward direction, guys. All the blocks which are present here, right? All the blocks hashes are interlinked, and it is linked in the backward direction. If you know about the linked list, it is same as that. Okay, so how they are interlinking, all the blocks, how they are being interlinked, guys, they are actually being interlinked with the help of the previous hash. Okay, whatever previous hash which is actually present here, with the help of the previous hash, they are actually being interlinked among themselves. And every first block in the blockchain is called as the genesis block. Only the first block, guys, not the rest of the blocks. Every first block in the blockchain is actually called as the genesis block. Okay, so now if you see here, okay, so there is a hash for the first block. As you know, every block has its identification. Now here the previous hash is 0, guys. Why the previous hash is 0 here in the first block? The reason is before this there are no blocks. Before this there are no blocks because it is the first block. Now if there is any block before it, then that block's hash would have become the previous hash of this block. But as there are no blocks before it, because as it is the first block, so you will not be having that opportunity to get the previous hash here. So by default, your previous hash will be 0. Okay, so by default, your previous hash is going to be 0 here, and we wouldn't be able to have our previous hash in the first block only. That is our genesis block. And again, in the rest of the blocks, we will be having all the previous hash and then hash, and then the data, it all depends that if it is a transaction, then it is a Bitcoin blockchain. If it is transaction plus document, then it is the Ethereum blockchain, guys. And these block numbers are arranged in a chronological pattern, and technically we call this as the block height, but not the block number. Okay, so these are all the very, very important points, and your hash is generally what we call it as the fingerprint. How you correlate it with your fingerprint as an identification. In the same way, every block has its own unique identification, which we call it as the hash here. How the blocks are interlinked, guys? Blocks are interlinked with the help of the previous hash. Okay, so these are all the important points which all of you actually need to understand. Okay, so now let me go and explain you the definition. See here, now you can understand it. A blockchain is a continuously growing list of records which are called blocks. Yes or no? If you could observe, all the blocks are interlinked and it continuously grows like this. There is no stop to this. Okay. Now these are being linked and secured using cryptography. Now what is here cryptography? Cryptography is nothing but the hashing, which we call it as. Okay. So here the cryptography is actually nothing but it is a hashing concept, guys. Whatever hash I said, right? With the help of the hashing mechanism, all the blocks are being interlinked and they are secure. So this is what we generally call it as the structure of the blockchain. What is actually present inside the block. So these are the important parameters which all of you actually need to understand here, guys. Okay. So now let me explain you. When I say hash, I just said you that it is a fingerprint, but I didn't say how this is being designed, because it is very, very important, guys, because your hash is only making you protect whatever data which is present inside your blockchain, right? Only because of this strong hashing mechanism, the hackers are not in a position to attack your blockchain. Now you should know that, right? What is that hash then? So let me take you to this hash, and we have an algorithm being designed here, and that's what we call it as the SHA-256 algorithm. Then you may think that in the market, do we have only the SHA-256 algorithm which we can use? Then I can say no. You can have SHA-512. Okay, you have KESAC-256. Again, these are all other algorithms which we can use, but research proved that SHA-256 is the efficient way, and it is being used extensively by all the developers in the world so that it is very much resilient enough. Now, what is SHA means what it is? SHA means it is secure hash algorithm. Okay, we call this as the secure hash algorithm, guys. What is 256 here? This is 256 bit. Okay, it is secure hash algorithm 256 bit. Now, how do you identify that whether it is the hash or not? Now, let me say, if I ask anyone among you, say me what is a hash, then you wouldn't be in a position to explain me what is a hash. Now let me say, if you could see here, there are some numbers, some alphabets are present here, wherever I have highlighted here, this part, in a form of a square I highlighted, right? Now I'm trying to say here, okay, so if I ask you this question, can you identify that whether this is the hash? Then you will be saying that we don't know about it. So then I will say that based on the hexadecimal pattern. Based on the hexadecimal pattern, you should understand that whether it is the hash or not. Now, what is hexadecimal then? So, hexadecimals are nothing but numbers ranging from 0 to 9, alphabets ranging from A to F, guys. Okay. If the numbers are in the range of 0 to 9, and again in the alphabets, if the alphabets are in the range of A to F, then it indicates that yes, this is your hexadecimal. Otherwise, it is not. So, now seeing this, you should be in a position to say that whether it is a hexadecimal or not, because you have to identify that whether the numbers are in the range of 0 to 9 and as well as alphabets are in the range of A to F. If they are in this range, then that means yes, everything is appropriate and you can just go ahead and try to create everything. Okay, so let me say, if I say there is something like this, okay. So can you say me, is this a hash? So if you clearly observe it, the numbers are in the range of 0 to 9, but the alphabet should be in the range of A to F, right? Now, if you see here G and H, okay, so these are not in the range of A to F. So this is not a hash. So whenever you see something, right, you should identify that it should be in the range of 0 to 9 and A to F in order to identify that whether it is the hash or not. Otherwise, it is not going to be the hash. Simple. It is like that. It's been designed. And this SHA-256 algorithm was designed by NSA, guys. That is your National Security Agency. Okay, they have actually designed the SHA-256, which is headquartered in US. Okay, so they have actually worked on the SHA-256 algorithm extensively. They have come up with the SHA-256 algorithm, and we call this as the secure hash algorithm 256-bit. And how do you identify the hash? With the help of the hexadecimal pattern. The numbers ranging from 0 to 9 and alphabets ranging from A to F. Now let me show this demo or practicality so that we can clearly understand that what it is all about. Okay, so now we are here. Now, if in this case, if you could observe, there is a data field which is present, which I'm going to play with this data field right now. And at the bottom, you see that there is some hash present. Now, how do you say that this is the hash? Whether this is a hash or not, as I said you, based on the what? Based on what parameter you can say me? Based on actually the hexadecimal, that is from numbers 0 to 9 and alphabets in the range of A to F. If they are in this range, then you can say that it is a hash. So now if you could observe at the bottom, they are in the range of A to F and the numbers are in the range of 0 to 9. That's the reason we call this as the hash. Now observe what is happening, guys, because it's very, very important. Clearly observe it, okay? So now I'm saying that, okay? So I'm just changing whatever content I wanted. Okay, so now if you see here in the data field, I kept my name is Prashant here. Okay, so now the hash got changed. What happens is, as you keep on changing your data, based on your data, the hash changes. I hope you're understanding, right? Whatever I'm trying to say, all the participants, see, as I wrote the content, like here, my name is Prashant here. So based on that, my hash got determined. Now, as I change the content here in the data, right? My hash also changes. So this is one of the important property which all of you need to understand. So based on the content which you're writing here, based on that, your hash would be determined. Okay, so that's how it can actually be laid and it can actually be done appropriately, if I would say. Okay, so now if you would see here, let me just cancel this. Okay, now I'll show you what is going to happen. So let me say, if I delete the content, my name is Prashant. Okay, if I delete it, would you see the same hash? No, there is no same hash because there is no content present. If there is no content present, again it will go back to the normal state only. Now again, if you put the same content, okay, so now let me say, so if I put again, my name is Prashant, okay, see here, again I got the same hash. If you remember, it starts with 2 and then 4 A's. This is the content. My name is Prashant. Okay. Now I'm deleting it. See here. I deleted, my hash got changed because there is no data. If I again try to put the same content here, I got again the same hash. So what I intend to say here is, as long as your content is same in the data, you will be getting the same hash only. There wouldn't be any difference in your hash. Now let me say if I change it, see, now let me say if I put my name is Prashant Sahu here, then again automatically my hash got changed. Why my hash changed? Because my content changed. As my content got changed here, so my hash got changed. If my content is same, then there wouldn't be any problem. See, let me say if I again go back to my name is Prashant only. Again, I'll be having same hash. So this is what I intend to say. As you keep on changing your data, based on your data, your hash changes. Now, if you put the same content 100 times, the hash will be same for 100 times. If you change your content, the hash changes. That's it. This is one of the important point which all of you need to understand. Okay, in terms of hashing mechanism. What is the algorithm behind this hash, guys? It is SHA-256 algorithm, which we call it as the secure hash algorithm 256-bit. Okay, so which every one of you actually need to understand. So this is what we call it as the hashing mechanism, and this is how we can actually determine the hash part. Okay, so now let me explain the last concept where you can clearly understand what is the use case scenario. Okay, So with this use case, right, what I'm going to explain to every one of you, most of you will understand important properties of the blockchain, guys. Okay, I'll explain you. See, there is a land and revenue department, guys. Okay, there is a land and revenue department. So in this land and revenue department, everything is an assumption, guys. Everything is an assumption. Please don't take everything as the right values. Okay, in the land and revenue department, there are 200 employees working. Okay, assume it. This is a really happened. This case really happened, and this is the real life scenario which I'm explaining to you all. Okay, so traditional model I'm explaining you first. This is the traditional model, and then I'm going to explain you how we are using the blockchain technology. And this model is being used in the government of Telangana. Okay, and which we have designed it for them. Okay, so how to implement blockchain in land and revenue department. So before we implement blockchain technology, first you need to understand what is a traditional problem with the land and revenue department. Then you will understand that where the blockchain technology will fit appropriately. Okay, so in the land and revenue department, assume that there are 200 employees are working here, guys. Now there is one person who purchased a 3 acres of land. Assume it. Okay, so now this person wants to register this land under his name in land and revenue department. Out of 200 employees, there will be one employee who will be assigned to complete this registration process. Okay, not all the 200 employees will be working for this guy, right? Only one guy will be assigned, and he is going to take care of the registration process and everything of this land which the owner has purchased. Okay, so there are 2 people involved here. Fine. Now this person has done everything appropriately, and the data got registered. Now where the data will be present? It will be present in a server. Okay, so this is our server. So inside this server, our data will be present. Not only this person's data. In that locality or in that ward, the people who have bought or who have purchased any specific house or a land or whatever it may be, all the details will be present inside this server, along with this person who wants to register the 3 acres of land. Now this is done. Okay, so now in this server, there are all the details. Okay, now to maintain this server, if any problem comes or if any maintenance which has to be taken, so there will be an admin, guys, here. So he is an admin who is responsible for all your server configuration, server maintenance, everything is taken care by this admin only. So this admin is responsible to take care of all the activities related to this particular server. Okay, so now what is going to happen? So if I would say here in this case, this is actually your centralized model, guys. Okay, we call this model as the centralized model. So in this centralized model, what happens is, let me say out of this 200 people, assume that there is one corrupt guy. It may be your registrar, it may be your tehsildar, it may be your magistrate, or it may be any of the employee present in this land and revenue department who is a corrupt guy who wants to do some corrupt activity. Now, what is that corrupt activity? Let us target this owner. He purchased 3 acres of land. So this corrupt guy wants to change it in such a way that 2.97 acres belong to this owner and rest of the 0.03 acres belong to him. He just wants to change the data by talking to admin, because admin is the person who has all the rights to change everything inside the server. Now he will pay him the enough amount of money to admin, and admin can change whatever he wants. Nobody knows about it. Now the people who are present here, right, who are working, the 200 people, right? So among them, leave this guy who is doing the corrupt activity. Rest of the 199 people, they don't know what is happening inside it. Nobody never knows. Even the owner doesn't know who purchased the land. He will still believe that 3 acres belongs to him. But as per the government stats, as per the change in data, it belongs to only 2.97 and the rest of the 0.03 belongs to this person. So nobody knows about it, and at the back end, things are changing in this way. And if you know or if you don't know, I exactly don't know about it, but really these things are happening at the back end. That's the reason why, if you remember, there was one story last year where a farmer went and he has actually burnt the tehsildar with a petrol in the Hyderabad. If you remember, he threw the petrol onto that lady and he burnt her alive. Okay, there was a very big issue because the Tahsildar and the magistrates were doing a lot of corrupt activities. Then immediately the government of Telangana said that we need to bring some reforms into the land and revenue department. We just can't leave the channel like this, where at the back end people are changing whatever they require, and at the end of the day, the owners are not getting that confidence at least to register the land in the land and revenue department, because in the land and revenue department itself there are many corrupt people to change the data. So many of them, they are confused. And the process is not at all transparent, guys. If I would talk about the transparency, it is very, very less. Assume that if this case is happening, then where is transparency? Nobody is getting to know what is happening. They're giving enough money to admin, and admin is the boss here. He was going to change everything and no one knows about it. And if the owner comes here, they will say that you have only 2.97. Why are you saying 3 acres? He will go to court and it will take 20 years. Meanwhile, this land, you can't do anything on this land. And automatically the owner knows this and he's not going to take this risk. He's saying that, okay, let it be 2.97 only, because I can't go and run behind the court for 20 years fighting against the land and revenue department, which comes under the state government. It's very difficult to fight against the government, right? So these things are really making life mess, guys. When everything is digitalized, then where is the transparency here in the traditional mechanism? So this is one of the problems which the government of Telangana has identified, along with Telangana, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh. Many governments have identified this problem actually. So that's the reason why they have implemented the blockchain technology into the land and revenue department. I will show you how the model changed and how the transparency has come into the picture. Understand me very carefully. Okay, I have explained you the traditional mechanism right now. Let me take the same example, not a different one. The same example I will take, and I will try to explain it in the form of the blockchain technology, guys. Okay, so now again, the same land and revenue department, 200 employees are working. Now this time we are using the blockchain technology here, and there was 3 acres of land, which I already discussed. Okay, and then there is a person, that's owner, who wants to register this land. Okay, and then there is the other person who wants to register it. So this is the previous use case scenario only. But right now, there is no such single server concept, guys. No admin, no single server. There is no such concept because we are talking about the blockchain technology. I'll say you what it is. The 200 employees who are working, again, this is a rough value, okay? The 200 employees who are working in this land and revenue department, right? Every one of them would be using either their own laptop or the desktop, right? When can we say this person is working? When he's having all the details with him, right? Like laptop or a desktop to save the data, to fetch the data, right? So then only we can say them that these are the working people. Now there will be 200 systems, right? Like this, if you could just keep on counting, there will be like 200 systems. Now all these single system is actually being called as a node. That means how many nodes we have? 200 nodes are present. It depends on number of employees who have their own laptop or a desktop from which they are working. So those many nodes are available. That means every node here can be called as a server. Every node here can actually be called as a server, guys. Okay. So in this case, each server, now each system acts as a server. In the previous case, there was only one server and there was only one admin. But in this case, there are 200 servers. That means your system is individually here acting as a server. Now 200 servers are present in the place of one server. Now you may ask me this question. So how about the cost then? In the previous case, one server you said, then the cost will be less. But in this case, all the 200 systems are there. Now here I'm saying that cost will not be high. The reason is your system is acting as one single server. See, this is not an additionally I'm buying, right? When you're doing some job, when you're employee of a land and revenue department, definitely you're going to have system, desktop or a laptop with you, right? To save the data. So I'm not doing any new thing. I'm just making sure that whatsoever 200 systems are there, all those 200 systems will act as a server. Rather than taking an additional server and trying to put all the data there, every system here is a data now. I mean to say every system here acts as a server. All the 200 systems which are present in the land and revenue department, all of them is a server now. So now what happens is if any of the corrupt guy, okay, it may be your tehsildar, registrar, whoever it may be, who wants to do the corrupt activity, let us assume. Now he can't pay money to admin. Why? The reason is there is no such admin concept. Now what he needs to do is, he needs to pay to 200 people the bribe. Now when he wants to change to 2.97 and 0.03, right? Which in the previous case we were discussing, if he wants to convert the 0.03 acres into his name, he needs to buy all the 200 people. Now, do you really think that he will be having that much amount of money to buy the 200 people? Because the cost here will be more when compared to the cost which is actually trying to put here. So he's not going to do. Simple. And now, rather than saying to one person, he needs to take the approval of 200 people, guys. And the 200 people knows that this person is going to do the corrupt activity. Do you really think that you will be going and saying to 200 people, hey guys, I want to do a corrupt activity, please help me? Do you really think that they're going to help you out? There is no question of helping you out in that case. Either you have to buy them. If you have enough money, yes, you can buy and do it. But the transparency is very high here. Now, what is going to happen is tomorrow, these persons can actually blackmail the right person, saying him that you have done at that time. So every day they'll be taking bribe, saying that you have done this task. So we are going to inform it to the government. So it's as simple as that. So everything becomes transparent. So now among these 200 people, at least if 51%, guys, 51 means majority. Out of 251 means it's 101. At least if 101 people give approval, saying that yes, go ahead and try to do whatever you wish, then he can do it. But remember one thing, guys, rest of the people who are present here, right? The 99 people who are present, they know what is happening. Anybody can go and inform it to the owner saying that with your land they're playing like this, or anyone among them can go to the nearby police station and they can file a case. What exactly is happening in the land and revenue department. So see the transparency here. Now how much amount of transparency is coming in this case? And this model is what we call it as the distributed and decentralized. Okay, we call this model as the distributed and decentralized, guys. This is one of the important property. It is what we call it as the distributed and decentralized model. If anybody wants to change anything, okay, they need to take 51% of the people approval, and if 51% of the people give approval, right, and if they are accepting the corrupt activity, rest of the people, they know. That means all the 200 people know what is happening, but only 51% of the people gave approval. So rest of the people can go and file a case against the activity which is going on. In this way, transparency is very high. So now you compare the traditional model and the current model. By this, you can identify that how much edge we are having by using the blockchain technology. And whatever I explained you currently is being implemented by the government of Telangana. Okay, so they are actually trying to implement the same model, whatever I explained you, only the numbers are different here. And this is just a rough case. Okay, these are the only differences I have created, but the model, whatever I explained to you about distributed and decentralization, 51% of the people need to give approval. So these concepts are actually been implemented by the government of Telangana in the land and revenue department. You can go and find it out in the internet also. Okay, so I hope all of you have actually understood like whatever I have explained related to land and revenue department and how everything is here distributed and decentralized. Okay, so everything is distributed and decentralized. It is not like a centralization. In the traditional model, what it is centralized server, only one server, everything we are dependent on that only. But here it is not like that. Everything is being distributed appropriately and it is actually decentralized. So this is also one of the important point which all of you need to understand it. Okay, till here, is everyone clear, guys? Where am I? Yeah. Okay, so, and now just immutable means, guys, immutable is nothing but, this is also one of the important property of the blockchain. What is immutable? Immutable means once the data which is present inside the blockchain, right? If the data is present inside the blockchain, it can never be changed or it can never be deleted. Okay, that is the property of immutable. It can never be changed, and at the same time, it can never be deleted. Whatever data which is present inside the blockchain, once the data is been inserted into the blockchain technology, the data can never be deleted either by the owner or by the reader, whoever is viewing the data. Nobody can change it or nobody can delete it. That is a speciality of one of the property of the blockchain, is what we call it as immutable. Immutable means the data which is present inside the blockchain, that data can never be erased or it can never be deleted. Now, many of you may have this question in your mind saying that, let me say, this is the blockchain. Now, I don't want the data which is present here. Now, what can I do? You can lock this data. You can only be in a position to lock it, but you're not in a position to delete it, guys. Okay? The people who have this doubt, I hope I have resolved it. So, if there is any data which you believe that it is not required for you in the long run, then what you can actually try to do is just stop using that data, so that what you can do is you can just lock it. You can lock the data part and then the data can never be used. But you can never delete it or you can never change it, because the property of the blockchain is immutable. Immutable means it can never make you change or it can never make you delete anything. It's as simple as that. Okay. So now if you see here, guys, the blockchain which is present here, I will explain you if hacking happens, if any hacking happens, then how that hacking will not be successful. Okay, this is the last concept which every one of you can actually try to understand it. Let me say there is a block here, guys. Now there is a hacking happening on this block. Somebody or some third party or some hacker came up who wants to hack this particular block. Okay, so now after this, all the blocks will be hampered. Why? Because the reason is, when I was explaining you in the structure of the block, all the blocks are actually being interlinked among themselves with the help of the previous hash. Now, if anybody wants to hack a particular block, okay, he can hack that. But the point here is, the rest of the blocks also will be hampered. That means the hacker should not hack only one block, but he should hack the rest of the blocks which are also present here. So the hacker's responsibility is not to do only one block which is actually trying to hack, but the rest of the blocks also. Because if you remember, what did I say when I was showing you the hashing demo, guys? If you change even a single data inside your document or in your data content, then your hash will change. Once when your hash changes, you know that as all the blocks are interlinked, all the hashes will change. So now the hacker's responsibility here is, he needs to hack not only this data, but the rest of the blocks which are present, right? He needs to hack all the rest of the blocks also. So this is very, very difficult, guys. It is extremely difficult for this person to go ahead and try to do all these things indeed. And what is the time which he has in his hand so that he can do successful hacking? 15 seconds. Within 15 seconds, he needs to hack all these blocks. Let me say if he has hacked it successfully. Actually, it is not possible, guys. If you give him 10 years or if you give him 20 years also, he will not be in a position to hack it. Forget about 15 seconds. Forget about 15 seconds. Okay. So until the next block falls, until the next block falls in the blockchain, this hacker should complete the entire hacking process. And for the next block to fall in the blockchain, it will take 15 seconds, guys. Once the next block falls in the blockchain, right, whatever hacking he has done till now, if it is successful, then that's fine. If it is not successful, again, he needs to start from the scratch. Again, he needs to come from the first, and within 15 seconds, he needs to hack all the blocks. It's very, very difficult. And one more thing. If he successfully hacks, let us assume, it's not going to happen, I know that, but let us assume that if he hacks this blockchain successfully, then is he a successful hacker? Then I would say no. Why am I saying no then? The reason is, see here. Here, he has hacked only in one system. But how many systems he needs to hack in order to become a successful hacker, guys? 51% of the systems. In our case here, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 systems are there. He needs to hack 4 systems in order to become a successful hacker within 15 seconds. That means if he does in one system also, he's not going to be a successful hacker, because the rest of the three systems which are present, right, it will say that, hey, why are you in a different shape? They will again convert them into normal state only. So in order for the hacker to become a successful hacker, he needs to target 51% of the systems so that everything would be done in a right way and he can become a successful hacker. Till date, there was no such hack happening on the blockchain technology. Nobody has dared to attack it, and if they have done, but they have never got succeeded. The reason for this is because if you do it in one system, you can't claim that you are a hacker, because everything here is distributed and decentralized. So you need to target at least 51% of the systems within 15 seconds. That means within the next block falls, then only you can become a successful hacker. Now, some people may think that, let me say if I hacked 49% of the systems, for example, I'm saying within the 15 seconds. Now, once the next block falls in the blockchain, okay, now will I start from 49%? Only 2% is left to become a successful hacker. No. Again, it will start from the scratch. Once the next block falls in the blockchain, right, even you have hacked till 49% and next block falls in the blockchain, again, you need to start from 0%. You can't start from 49. Again, you need to start from the scratch and then you need to come up. So you know that how tedious it is and how complicated the life, okay, how complicated the life of a hacker would be here in order to make sure that you would go ahead and try to hack this. So it's highly impossible. That is the reason why, if you would see the Honorable Prime Minister, Don Tapscott, many IT organizations, many academic institutes are trying to learn this technology in order to make sure that the data can be preserved to the best way and nobody would actually try to dare or nobody would actually try to attack the data which is present inside the blockchain technology, guys. This is very, very important. Okay. And this is the last concept for today. And that is nothing but the three different types of blockchain. Now, what are the three different types of blockchain which are available with me? It is public, private, and then the consortium blockchain. Okay, so these are the three different types of blockchain available, guys. Now, what is public blockchain? The blockchain which is available to everyone. Okay, public blockchain means the blockchain which is available to everyone, especially like your cryptocurrencies. You see your cryptocurrencies, right? Now, let me say Bitcoin. Now, many of you have heard about the Bitcoin, right? Why you heard about it? Because it is in the public domain. Maybe some of you would have heard about Ethereum also. Why you heard about it? Because it is in the public domain. How many of you know Quartz? Nobody knows about it. The reason is it is a private blockchain which is used by TCS. You're understanding, right? The difference is that public blockchain means it is something which is being kept in a public domain in order to gather the attention. In order to gather the attention of the public people, they try to put it in the public blockchain domain. Now, this is your public blockchain, guys, where everything is open and nobody is going to put any such sort of security or any such sort of protection here. Now, when you go with the private blockchain, see, this is your private blockchain where you will have one entity as the head. Now, Reliance Industries is the head here, which is managing its Reliance Life Science, Geo Platform, and Network 18. And everything will be present in a confidential way because it's a private blockchain. And the employees of the Reliance and the owner of the Reliance will only be knowing what are the data present inside it, but not the outside world. So this is what we call it as a private blockchain, guys. There will be one entity which is going to rule everything inside it. Now, let me say if I take Tata here, okay. Now, Tata will be having their TCS and then Tata Motors, okay, and then Tata Tanishq, okay, which is their gold part, like whatever it may be, okay. So now here the employees of the Tata only will be getting the data, but not everyone. Because it is everything here is confidential. That's private data. Okay. So this is what we call it as the private blockchain, guys. Now, when you go to consortium blockchain, so this is your consortium. Now, what is your consortium blockchain? Consortium blockchain means in the private blockchain, you have only one leader. It may be Reliance, Tata, or any company you can take. Okay. But in the consortium, it is not like you have only one leader. You can have multiple leaders here. See, 1, 2, and 3. You can have multiple leaders in the consortium blockchain, guys. Here, if you could see in this case, okay, so we have in this case, one is your Tata. Let me say other end is the Microsoft and the third part is your Google. Now, let me say they came up with an idea where they want to give some funding to the startups. so that startups can come into limelight. Now, these three organizations will collectively take a decision. Here, there is no such leader concept. All the three of them are equal leaders, and all the three of them will take a collective decision rather than the private blockchain. Because in the private blockchain, there will only be one leader who takes care of everything. But whereas in the consortium blockchain, you have multiple leaders where they can take a common decision. That is the difference between private and consortium. Let me explain you in this way. Let me say if JNTU Anantapur is using the private blockchain, okay, and it will be only applicable for JNTU A people who are let me say research scholars, who are actually the faculty members or who are into the particular post-graduation stream. So it will only be applicable to them. It's not applicable to everyone. That is a private blockchain. Now, let me say in the consortium blockchain, for example, JNTU Anantapur A and then JNTU H or maybe JNTU Kakinada, for example. Now, all three of them can come into consortium blockchain and they can take one collective decision, especially related to some education reform or some research, whatever it may be. So, in that way, we can correlate it. Public, private, and then the consortium blockchain, guys. Okay, so with this, I have completed my session for today, guys. So in general, I'm just going to give you a small overview, like what we have completed, and then I can just wrap it up. So I'm just going to not explain you all the things, only the properties, okay? First, what did we discuss? We discussed about the hashing, okay? That's all about the SHA-256 algorithm, secure hash algorithm 256-bit. We discussed about the hashing mechanism. I have shown you a small demo related to it. And then we discussed about immutable, guys. You know that, right? What is immutable? Once the data is present inside the blockchain, the data can never be changed or it can never be deleted. So this is what we call it as the immutable. And then the third concept was, I was explaining about distributed and decentralization, okay? So this is generally what we call it as the distributed and decentralization. Okay, so this is also one of the important property, guys. Okay, and then consensus, okay, and then we also have mining. Now these two concepts which I am going to explain you in the second session, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow when I have my session, I am going to discuss about the consensus and mining, hashing, immutable, distributed and decentralized. I have already completed, and distributed and decentralized I have explained you in the land and revenue department, guys. Okay, so these are the important properties which we have covered. And along with this, we also covered the types of blockchain. Like what are the types? Public, private, and then the consortium blockchain. And then we also discussed about where the blockchain will play a vital role, that is in your data field. And then what is it? What is the blockchain? Like from 1990s it came, and then I have explained you the structure of the block and everything, how the blocks are interlinked with the help of the previous hash. All these details I have given to you, and we have completed all these important parameters. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about the future of cryptocurrency, and you will be getting to understand what exactly is this cryptocurrency mechanism. Then I will explain you the mining part, guys. Okay, so if there are any doubts, you can ask me. I can just answer if you have any. If not, I have completed my session for today, guys.
Participants, if you have any queries related to today's session, so you can ask directly by unmuting yourself, or else you can post your question in the chat box.
Yes, guys, I think we have 3 more minutes left, so you can just ask me whatever is present. Thanks, Prasanna. Nice presentation. Thank you. Rami Krishna, thank you. Pawan Kumar, thanks a lot. Okay, so if you have any doubts, guys, okay, if you are not in a position to just now think about it, okay, if you're not in a position to think about it right now, so there is actually you can actually use my LinkedIn. So you can actually try to send me some message or something if you want. So this is my LinkedIn profile where you can find me, Prashant Sahu, okay? So you can just ask me here and then we can just clear, or else ma'am will be sharing. Varalakshmi ma'am is having my Gmail ID. So if anybody is having any doubts, you can just ask to ma'am, and then ma'am is going to provide you about that details and everything if you have any. Otherwise, you can just ask here. Okay, good. There was one question. Naga Suhasini. So how can we include blockchain in MBA curriculum? Ma'am, simply if I would say you that, how to include this is simply in your, I hope you know about your supply chain, you know about your logistics part, all these things. I hope you know about all these things, right? So that's where we are going to integrate the blockchain technology with Internet of Things. If you get time, no ma'am, in the third session, I'm going to explain about it. Okay. So in the third session, I'm going to bring at least one example so that you can understand it. How to implement Panduranga? I can say tools are, we have some tools like Remix, okay, Remix IDE, RAMIX. Remix is a platform where you can write some programs, and we have MetaMask, that is a tool, and Ganesh, GANACH. Now let me just put it up in the chat box. Maybe it will be difficult for you all to understand. Okay, so one is Remix, other one is your Ganesh, and the third one is your MetaMask. Okay. So this is the one, the fund runner. So this is the one which you can use it as a tools in order to get. Thanks for all the people like who has actually understood it and who felt it really excellent and beautiful. Thanks a lot for your patience and sitting for 1.5 hours listening to me patiently and understanding the concepts. So I hope there are no doubts. Anybody who wants to talk?
Participants, if you have any questions, you just note down it and you can ask that tomorrow also. So the tomorrow same time, the sir is having session again from 10 to 11:30, and Saturday also from 10 to 11:30. So continuously we have 3 days of session, morning session only. So you can ask in the 2 days also. No problem.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, Prashant Sahu, sir, for accepting our invitation and joining the program and delivering your lecture very excellent manner regarding the basic concepts related to the blockchain and everything, whatever the examples that you derived and the way that you explained. Even though the person who they are new to the blockchain, so they will clearly, I assure that they will get 100% knowledge about the blockchain. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow to all the participants. Bye-bye. Bye, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, sir. We're looking forward to you for tomorrow, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, participants. Actually, let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll start the next session by 11:40 sharp. Sir will join within 10 minutes. So try to join 10 minutes early to the class. Okay. And please be active during the class. If you have any queries, just post it in the chat box. And we are noting the attendance of all the participants regularly. So thank you. So please join within time. By 11:40, we will have the session of Suresh Babu sir, who is from NIT Warangal. So please be in time.